Like, you're asking to meet a vampire or something. Like, this is not appropriate. But then again, let's maybe, let's see what they have to offer, actually. Hold up. Hold up. So I've always been the first to admit I am not what you call like a Gundam connoisseur. I'm not the guy of encyclopedia knowledge on the Gundam franchise. But I have seen more than, some of the fresher fans who maybe have only seen, well, one Gundam show. Like, I've dabbled in a decent amount, I'm very much still, I am not an expert by any stretch. So maybe some of this stuff has already been kind of hinted at in previous series, but, walking out of what felt like an Evangelion episode, which, given Kratos and stuff, we knew we were probably going to get some Eva feels to it. But it almost feels like we just went from Evangelion to the Rebuild movies. And my brain's still rattled. I'm still trying to... I had to take a bit out. Usually, I finish watching the episode and I immediately come up and record my review. I took a bit. Because I had to sit there. I had to process. But if my interpretation is right, doesn't this episode kind of change the course of how we look at Gundam going forward? Because I remember when I first started looking at the concept of Gundam, timelines, watch orders, this, that, and the third. It's always been like, hey, this is the main timeline, this is the UC timeline, this is, an alternate story set in this, but like, this is the canon, blah, blah, blah. There's always those debates of all that type of stuff. But if the end of this episode is implying there's two Lalas, one from an alternate timeline and story, and then the one we just saw, because the one for their story, for the GQuuuuuX story, is not the Rose. The Rose is the one who's in tech that this man is saying, we never finished that tech. That tech does not exist in our world, yet it's here. Is that not saying that even if stories are set in alternate timelines, alternate realities, alternate universes, whatever, that this story is basically putting a stamp down saying it doesn't matter, everything's canon and everything's connected no matter what? Like, yeah, maybe we don't have Kira portals that are allowing us to always interact with each other, but there's no such thing as a spin-off, like everything's connected? Because, like, that's the vibe I'm getting. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there's going to be some hardcore enthusiasts who will just come up here and say, nah, you're overthinking it. It's not that big a deal. It's just for the story. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, you don't introduce Evangelion-level storytelling in Gundam unless you're trying to do a bigger message. But Jesus Christ. Like, for an episode just focused on Machu crashing down on Earth, not really knowing what she's going to do, what's the point, because they're like, hey, you need to find the Rose. And it's like, how the hell are we going to find the Rose? All we knew was that it was on Earth, seemingly. So the idea that, like, that's why they initially let her escape, because they're like, hey, we'll just follow her and we'll be able to find it. So then we locate, obviously, the GQuuuuuX, and then the GQuuuuuX fell on the Rose, so when they bring it up, I'm like, what? I was like, immediately I knew something was off. I was like, that ship just looks so alien, right? Like, it's weird because we're flying around in space and shit, but, like, that just felt so out of place. Not because it looked bad, but just like it felt like a different anime. And then the fact that that's kind of what they're implying. Like, here's the thing. When I got up here for any show, at the end of the day, it's kind of a discussion. But, I also will give theories. I'll kind of give my interpretations of things. And I think I've kind of done that so far. But I'm going to be honest, this is one of, like, I think, out of all the videos I've ever done, I think I can probably count on one. Might be getting into two hands, but, like, not a full 10. Like, maybe we're at 6 or 7. It hasn't been a lot, though, and I make a shit ton of videos. That I'll be like, listen, this video, it's not for me to be like, to help the fans, to help the viewers, or to just, no, this is me being like, you guys going to discuss in the comments, and I'm going to learn a thing or two. But wowzers. At this point, I have no damn idea if this is the end of the story or the first half, because I'm almost wondering, because I remember I got this comment, episode 5, 6, in that area, that apparently there would be a name change for this show, most likely in the second core. Could have been a rumor, I don't know. But I'm almost wondering, like, we finished, say, episode 12, GQuuuuuX is over, which I think one of the names, I'm not sure if it's in China or one of those places, that I think this show is like called Gundam War Across Times. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, that kind of makes sense given the end of this episode. So I'm almost wondering if like maybe they're trying to go the route that like GQuuuuuX is a prelude, a prologue to like the next Gundam story, and it's gonna be different. I don't know. Like I'm a little frazzled. I ain't gonna lie. Like we've been having some shooketh moments with people getting eviscerated by laser blasts. We're wondering, oh man, Machu and Nian, are they gonna fight? They gonna be? It's like I don't even care anymore. I'm trying to figure out what are they. It's wild though because this show started off where it's like, hey, if you've watched the original Gundam story, you'll pretty much know. And then it's like, this is one of those stories where you can watch it probably having seen literally nothing Gundam. Worse experience, but you would still be able to get something out of it. But now I'm almost wondering, is this like the Gundam to end all Gundam series where it may not be people's objectively favorite, but it requires like 10 different series to get the full picture of everything? Jesus. But yeah, this is like the first time I think I can recall having a feeling that wasn't Ava, of going from Ava to the rebuild movies. Like that's the vibe I'm getting right now. Like what in Ava hell is going on, but I want to see more. Honestly though, I'm surprised she didn't die. Like with how fast and snappy things move in this show, when she's like, "Run, Machu," I'm like, well, she's dead here, right? Like if she ain't getting on, she ain't making it. And then the gunshot goes off, and all we really see is some hair, kind of. So I imagine it was her hair that kind of got a little bit sniped. Surprisingly didn't die there. I'm honestly shocked by that. I thought that was, like, I've never been more convinced of a death than that moment, and they surprised me. But yeah, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Maybe this is just for one timeline. It just says one timeline's connected to others. Maybe I'm completely misinterpreting things. It's possible. I don't know. This fried my brain though. It's wild too because for the most part I was like, okay, yeah, this is a fairly good episode. And then the end of the episode, I'm like, wait, are we? There's two of them, and then like the way she was talking earlier about her other self, and then seeing Char, and I'm like, what in Kira nonsense is going on? I don't freaking know. But you let me know your theories and interpretations. Does this episode kind of indicate that everything's connected more than people originally thought, or am I just am I I could be. I don't know. That's just my interpretation anyway. You let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you know if I want to upload more. We also have the Patreon where you got the full live reactions over there exclusively, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Wyatt Wilkin, Soggy Toast, Jess Y, I Am Here, Alexia A, Sayonara, Parnick, and we also have Alex Jackson. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.